Hello everyone, I am Harshvardhan from Doubt Horizon. Today we have come up with another video of interview series. It is correctly said that patience, persistence and perspiration make an unbeatable combination for success. This quote perfectly suits Nilesh, who is our interviewee here. He has been placed in Grofers after a lot of rejections and struggle, and it is a very big thing for us to have him here today. Here we have Nilesh. So Nilesh, can you tell us about yourself?
Okay, thank you for having me on your channel. My name is Nilesh. I am a final year student VIT Vellore. And last week I bagged an offer from Grofers. So I will share my experience in this interview and help you to clear all the doubts which you have regarding the placements.
Okay, thank you, Nilesh, for your precious time. So, the next question is like, can you just give us a brief idea about how actually college placement works? Can you tell us about
Okay,
briefly? Yeah.
okay. So basically, college placements work like companies visit the college, they give some CGPA criteria and shortlist comes, and then you give the online coding round, which consists of MCQs and coding questions. Mainly, the MCQs are from core subjects or languages like C++ and Java, and then there are 2 or 3 technical interviews depending on different companies. They conduct 1 or 2, and there is a final round which is an HR round, and then finally a company selects a couple of students, and then the process is over for a student if he is selected in the company.
So yeah, it is actually a long process starting with the
Yeah,
a CGPA shortlisting, then two, three, four, 5 rounds depending upon the company, and then finally getting the offer. So that is
yeah.
great. So the next question revolves around like a lot of people are confused about what is the role of CGPA in the campus placement. What CGPA they should maintain, and uh, to what extent it matters. So can you just tell us about this briefly?
Okay, like there are many people who apply for a particular company, and then the CGPA is the main role which act as a shortlist criteria. Like a company can't take the interview and test of so many thousand of students which apply. So they apply a factor of CGPA. Like many companies apply a CGPA of 9, and to be in a safe hand, you should have a CGPA of 8.5. Like many of my friends are there who have CGPA of 8.2 and 8.1. They were not able to sit in many of the companies which visited VIT. So it's safe to have a CGPA around 8.5 to 9. And if you have a CGPA of above 9, then it's always good to have high CGPA. It prefers you in other rounds also. Like in online round, if some students have same number of questions solved, then also they prefer a student who has high CGPA to shortlist him for further rounds. So CGPA plays a big role in the initial rounds, like on the online round, and in the technical round, it's knowledge of the candidate which matters mainly.
So correct. So actually, the brief summary of this is like CGPA is basically the shortlisting criteria. It is a huge. It provides a huge help in that. So after that, the knowledge of the student matters the most in the technical rounds and all, and his personality.
Yeah.
So that is what the CGPA role is there. So the next question is like, a large number of people are there, especially in one branch or two branches. So there is a huge competition, and so what is that unique thing for that a student should have to get selected in a company like Grofers for a
Okay.
good company selection process? What is that unique thing that he should have?
Okay, let me tell you, like there are thousand, like 1,000 or 2,000 which sit in the online interview, and only 40 of 30 students are selected after the first round. So you should have good coding skills to clear the first online round, because it's the major shortlisting criteria. Like 2,000 people are sitting in first round and only 40 are selected. So you should have great and good coding skills, and you should have grasp of data structures, and you should practice coding regularly. to clear the first round. And during the interviews, you should be clear with the basic concepts of data structures like trees, linked list, and you should know to implement them from scratch. Like they asked me to implement linked list, and there was a question of to get the lowest common ancestor. We discussed the time complexity and space complexity and different approaches. So you should know the time complexity and basic data structures like tree and these one. And so they are very important to clear technical interviews. And in other further rounds, they basically focus on your resume, the projects which you made, and the projects which you make should be play a great role during your interviews. Like if you have made a unique project and you which is favorable to the society, useful, so they focus on that part, and your half interviews focused on that interview thing, and then they ask you normal day essay and core subject questions. So you should be familiar with basic data structures and all the basic algorithms, all the standard questions which are there in platforms like Geeks for Weeks, Lead Code, and like you should have a clear concepts of oops. Oops is the basis, the main thing which is asked in every interview which I have faced, and and you should know all like normal forms of DBMS and all the concepts which you have read in your semester subject like OS and DBMS. They are very important to clear interviews.
So, based on your answers, a couple of things are like first thing is coding. It is very essential. Second thing is the projects which we make and the resume. About half of the time, the interview will ask only about your projects. And the third thing is like data structures, like linked list, trees, etc. They are important. So great. That gives us a clear idea of what is the unique thing which is essential for the selection process. So the next question is can you tell us about the preparation strategies of aptitude and theoretical CSE subjects that are required for placement?
For aptitude, you can go to indiabix.com and practice questions from there. And there are questions on Geeks for Weeks also, but they are limited. And if you want to practice a lot, then IndiaBix is there. Like in companies, different companies, they ask only they don't ask coding questions like Dell, HP. These companies don't add coding questions. They have only MCQs and aptitude questions. So aptitude questions then play a major role in the shortlisting criteria for other interviews. And for core subject, I will prefer you read, if you want to read the concept, you can go to Geeks for Weeks. And if you want to have video lectures, then there are YouTube channels like Knowledge Gate, Gate Semesters, and they are sufficient to know that all the knowledge of these subjects,
So yeah,
these core subjects.
yeah. So we cannot ignore aptitude also because it is one of the most important part in the written round for most of the companies like HP and all. And theoretical subjects we can study from Geeks for Geeks, etc. So yeah, it was a great knowledge. So in the previous question, you mentioned about the unique thing which is coding. So it is one of the most important parts of the placement. So coming to the coding part, since when does one start coding, and what are the important topics for placement in the coding section? Can you tell us about that?
Okay, like many students don't know, like they, in their college, in the third year of the college, the companies come for internships. And if you get an internship from a good company, they may convert it to a PPU. So if you have a PPU before starting your fourth year, then you don't need to sit in the companies which are coming in fourth year, and you have an offer when you complete the third year. You get to have a 2 month internship and an offer from a very good company. So if you want to grab internship in third year, you should start coding in second year. It will play a vital role. Like many people don't know, are not aware about things in third year only, and they don't prepare. And they think like they will prepare it in third year, and like placement will start in fourth year. And so there is less competition. I will tell you, like in third year, if you have prepared yourself in whole second year for coding and things, you can grab good internship in good companies. So if you want to focus on internship in third year, you should start in second year. And for placements, if you only want to take placements in fourth year, you can start 6 months before you can start coding on Geeks for Geeks. You can read different data structures and practice standard questions on Geeks for Geeks, and then you can also explore Lead Code, which has variety of questions. You can participate in contests, which are like there are two types of contests in Lead Code, bi-weekly and weekly. These contests give you a same situation in the first round, in which you have to solve 2-3 questions in 1.5 hours. So it's time constrained. Also, it helps you to prepare for the first round of different companies. And if you want to, if you have less time, if you have only 2 to 3 months before your placements, you can also prefer interview bit. Like it has a standard small list, like as compared to Geeks for Geeks and Lead Code, is a small set of questions, and they are the questions which are mostly asked in companies.
So that is great. So one thing you have told is very nice, that most of the people go for company placements in the fourth year. So it is right that fourth year is dedicated to the placement, but they can grab internships in the third year itself. So they can be easily converted into PPOs, and they need not sit in the companies later on. So to grab the internships in the third year, we need to start coding in the second year, and that will be very beneficial for them in the future. So that is very nice from you, Nilesh. So going to the next question, a lot of people are remain confused about what projects they should make and what languages they should choose for their projects uh, to grab a role, uh, to grab an SDE role in the companies. So can you just tell us about that, the project thing?
Okay, the companies don't focus on any technology or which you should mainly focus on your resume. Like if you should work on a technology which you are interested in, you like to work in, and you should make projects which are unique, which helps to solve a particular problem, and which will be helpful to users which use. So if you have a one unique project which is good, you can explain him the cause you made and the thing which will impact. It will give some impact to society if people use it. Then also it will be good to fit in a resume. You should not have 2 3 many projects which are generally you can find on Google and net. The interview will get excited and will have a keen interest if the project is unique. If you have a project which can be finded on Google easily, he will not be interested. He will ask you different questions, like he will ask you why did you took this stack and where didn't you other stack. Like if you have a unique project, he will focus on your idea and how did you approach and how have you solved this problem. So they basically focus on problem solving, not rather not on technology which you have used.
So that is great. The people they should implement the projects in the technologies they are interested in, and rather than having more than 2 3 projects, 1 2 projects, they are fine, but the people should have a clear picture of what is going on in that project. And the same thing I've experienced in my interview, like the interviewer wanted something unique from my project which is not available on the internet. So that is the thing which grabs the attention of the interview. So thank you, Nilesh, for the answer. So the next question is like, to what extent do course and event certificates matter in the campus placement? Can you tell us about that?
Okay, if you are done in a certification in a particular field, you should have all 100% knowledge of that field. Like if you have done some projects or certificate in machine learning, and you show that in your resume, then the interview will ask you questions on that technology which you have taken the certificate. He will ask basic questions, and if you are not able to answer that question, then certificate is not valid. So you should have the knowledge of the certificate of the course which you have done. Then only you should mention that in your resume. and you should know everything which you have mentioned in your resume. Like interviews know, they are taking interviews of thousands of candidates, and they know what for how fraud a student can give. So if they find something which is which is no missy fishy in your interview or in your resume, they will ask question on that only, and then you will get stuck in the interview and you will be rejected. So you should mention things which are there in the, which you know, like certification which you have done on net, not copied the answers on net and got some certificate. It's very easy to get certificates other things. And the other part of the questions, Harsh asked like events. Like if you have managed some events, it will help you to enhance your communication skills and event management skills. You will get to know how will you handle big events, how will you handle a huge crowd, and you will got to know new things like how to get a sponsorship from an event. You will talk to strangers, seniors. Like you will talk to stage performance, your performance event. It will help you to enhance your communication skill, and you will get connections to different people in different fields. So it's if you have time, if you are part of a club, it will be beneficial to enhance your communication skill if you are in the event coordinator or anything.
That is great, Nilesh. The certificates matter if you have a clear picture of what is in that certificate and you have not copied it from somewhere else. And regarding the events, the basic purpose is that we get into a contact with a lot of people there. So that also helps a lot. So great. So the next question deals with it really becomes very tiresome and people begin to lose patience after not getting placed for a long time. So what is your advice for this part?
Okay, like the placement season in our college started in July, and I was placed in November, as first week of November. Like
Okay.
it was very tiresome. Like my all the friends were getting placed in different companies, and I was one moment was like first frustrated. Like I have to read many things again and again, and like it gets tiresome. But you have to get your uh, strength, and you should focus on the companies which will come, and you should target the companies. Like you should set a criteria that I will go in this profile only, and then I will go in this particular set of companies. And you should regularly read about the questions asked by these companies, and you should not see like what others are doing, what they are doing after getting placed. That will get you depressed only. You should hang out with people which are not placed, like, which are preparing for the upcoming companies. So it will have a similar circle. So it will help you to prepare for the upcoming companies. Like you should, like if you had an interview in which you were rejected in the last round, like you should not think about that. Like if you think about that company, and it will just strike you again and again. Yeah, like if I was selected in that company, what will I do? You should not think about, like you should think about the upcoming companies. You should learn from your mistakes. Like the first interview which I gave was Bank of New York, and the interview first question was to implement linked list. And that time I didn't, I had practiced linked list. I was just doing functions problems on linked list. So the question was very easy: detect a loop in a linked list. I had written the function. So then she asked to implement the linked list from scratch. So I didn't have, so I was rejected in the first technical round itself. So then I learned about the implementation of different data structure like trees, linked list. And if you want, you learn from your mistakes. Like in an interview, if you give a 2 3 wrong answers, then you are rejected. So you should learn from the things, and you should revise all the things, and you should have hope. Like because companies will come, like companies are visiting different college, in different college they come on different time. You should ask your seniors, which companies will come. You should be get in touch in seniors. Like they clear your doubts. Like they have passed, they have faced these situations themselves, and they know how to handle these. So they will help you during these situations. My advice will be to focus on your basics, to keep practicing, to keep revising the things which you have done, and get in touch with seniors.
So very great information you have given. Like seniors help us a lot, and we should always learn from the previous interviews, whether they are good or bad. They will definitely help in the future. So with this, we come to the last question. Like any additional tip you want to give to the students for preparing for the interview or placement process from your side?
Okay, while preparing for interviews, it sometimes it gets tiresome. You are reading, you are doing coding whole day. You are not getting, you are preparing for whole month. Like you should give breaks during preparation, and you should be consistent. Like if you are not having a mood to solve questions today, you should solve 2 3 questions and have a break with your friends. You should refresh, and then again you should, like, basically you should give breaks between your preparation and be consistent. That's the formula. Like you should you have to prepare for placement, like seriously, for 2 months, which are your vacations before your placement starting. That 2 months is the major, which they play the major role in your placement scenario. If you have focused work in that 2 months, you will get easily placed in a good company. So you should be consistent, and you should give breaks during your placement preparation.
So yeah, we should consistency is the key, and patience is also the key. And breaks we should always give during our placement preparation and everything. And during the vacations also we should study. So thank you, Nilesh, for giving your time to this interview, and you have given us a lot of information for the placement preparation. And I hope that people who are preparing for the placement will get benefited from your information. So with this note, I close the interview, and we'll be back with the next interview within a short interval of time. So bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.